Virginia lawmakers returned to Richmond for a special legislative session where Democrats are attempting to begin a process that would allow them to redraw congressional maps.
It's an attempt to gerrymander more Democratic representatives to Congress. Our Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Drew Wilder is in the studio with us. And Drew, we've watched some other states do this, like North Carolina, Texas too. They're working on it. What's happening in Virginia?
So what's happening right now in Virginia is exactly what we're watching play out in these other states. It's called mid-decade redistricting. It's legal, but political pundits have suggested it's bad for democracy. Right now, Virginia has 11 congressional districts. Democrats hold 6 of those seats. Now, in some red states like Texas, they've redrawn their congressional maps to potentially oust some Democrats to get more Republicans in the House of Representatives come next year's midterm election. So to combat that, bluer states like California and Virginia are doing the same thing. But in Virginia, voters overwhelmingly supported a bipartisan commission to leave district map drawing alone and let that happen every 10 years. And the last redistricting in Virginia was wildly viewed as a massive step in a nonpartisan direction. Though tonight, Democrats will attempt to throw that out of the window. The House has already done its job. Now it's on to the state Senate, where they are introducing a resolution to amend the state's constitution so they can redraw these district maps. Now, that same resolution has to be passed by 2 different General Assembly sessions with an election in between. So we've got this election coming up next week, Jim and Sean. So that's why the Dems hurried everyone back this week for the current legislative session, where they will use their majority to try to pass the resolution this week. Then you have the election go by, and then in the next legislative session early next year, assuming Dems have held their majority, they could pass the same resolution again, and it would allow them to redraw congressional maps in time for the midterms next year. Now, Virginia's Republican governor has called this move unconstitutional, and the Republican candidate to be the next governor has been pulled off the campaign trail the week before the election, asked to fulfill her current job as lieutenant governor, which requires she presides over the Senate. Take a listen to what one of the Republican state delegates had to say about this effort just a few minutes ago.
This amendment will be proposed by one party only, although candor requires admitting that this bad idea of mid-decade redistricting did get its 2025 launch by the president. However, just because a bad idea was proposed and even taken up by a few of our sister states, such as North Carolina or California, is not a reason for Virginia to follow suit.
Traditionally, congressional maps are redrawn every decade following census data, and that guides where districts should be adjusted based on population. So what we're witnessing in Virginia and these several other states is an attempt to stack the deck for the purpose of controlling the House of Representatives after next year's midterm election. It is gerrymandering, and they are being very open and outright about, that's what we're doing here.
Yeah, all right, you said Democrats actually have 6 of the 11 seats right now. If they redraw these maps, how many potentially could they then pick up?
Realistically, 2 or 3 seats. So I've watched on social media some pundits and some commentators show these theoretical maps that Democrats could redraw. There are some possibilities where Dems could see as many as 10 of the 11 seats. That feels a little bit extreme. Realistically, 2 to 3 seats, but when each state starts doing this, Republicans doing it in Texas and North Carolina, Democrats, and it could really reshape Congress.
And you mentioned how opposed Governor Youngkin is. He has no power in this, though.
He has no say. The legislature has a way to do this without any governor's input, and that's what they're doing right now.
All right. Drew Wilder. Drew, thanks so much.
Thank you, Drew.